Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today I want to share with you a very cool battle that took place. This was a small community event that I hosted from my Discord server. If you're not part of it, bloody get down in that description, become part of it, it's great fun. We had a blast, we were shooting ships apart, there was debris going everywhere, and I wanted to show you that battle today. Now, on one side we had the mighty wizard, who is a veteran of space engineers, and on the other we had Stone. Now, both of these team captains were pretty good opponents for each other. The teams themselves, though, were made up of some novice pilots as well as some experienced pilots as well. So you're going to see some interesting mistakes and interesting use of tactics. So, let us begin. And when battles start out like this in PvP, there is the initial bit of organisation that has to happen after the ships jump in. A good commander will get his team under his belt very quickly, get them close together and get them coordinating. But you can really lose here if you're not careful. If you're not straight into the battle, you're coordinated, or you jump in ahead of the rest of the group, you can be absolutely destroyed. So you can see we've got a few more ships popping in here from different angles, and like I said before, they're all trying to find each other's location before it's too late. Some of them have gone with the strategy of turning off the beacon's antennas, and this is a common strategy done by a lot of them. You can see that this ship here, piloted by I don't know who, just purely due to the fact that the antennas are on, is lurking around that asteroid. If this asteroid will take a big play into this, that's a totally different factor as well. So you can see over here we've got the Bulldog, we have the Cerberus destroyer, and we have the Mark V, the Apathy's drone ship. You can tell that definitely there. These guys are forming up pretty fast, and I'd be worried about this. And you can see we've got Wizard leading this particular faction. Their form up has been very quick, very fast. If they coordinate together, pull this together very quickly, they are going to be in a situation here. Now on the other side, we can see that we've got Stone's fleet. Now Stone's fleet is still quite spread out, and I'd really recommend maybe pulling back before engaging. Something to be aware of here is this Defender type ship designed by Wizard and used by the Howe faction relies on a rotating type system. So each of these ships has 25 Gatling guns, 25 missile launchers, and as they close in on each other like this, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. We've got an early volley of missiles going out here. They're going to be far too in the distance. It looks like we've got the Cerberus destroyer going in maybe a little bit too close, a little bit ahead of the fleet. He's took some damage to the rear, probably from a previous little accident before he even got in here. The other ships are catching up. We've got some more of Stone's ships lurking on the outer flanks, maybe completely looking for some sort of alternative angle on the flank, or maybe they're trying to avoid the defenders themselves. So it's going to be very interesting how they pull this one together. You can see Wizard is taking a centralized position here. He's got his fleet working around him. Some of the other smaller ships are drifting into position, but it really looks like Stone Lord here is trying to coordinate his fleet at the same time. But the issue is going to be, will them rear defenders get into position before anything else happens? Wizards spread out the fleet across the various areas. We've got 4 ships. We've got the final ship of Wizards jumping in, trailing behind here. Most likely going to be piloted. This one looks like a Husker type design. I'm not too sure. Let's just pop in and check. He is jumping forward. He's attempting to get behind the rest of Stone's fleet. This will be an interesting tactic. When jump drives get into the situation here, you can mess people up quite a lot. So as these guys are getting in range, turrets don't seem to be appearing to be firing aboard this ship. I'd be very worried here. Whoever's piloting this, the turrets are not operational. He's launching a forward volley of missile fire. Turrets are now online. He's hitting the defender in the side. These defender ships are pretty weak from this angle. So you can see the volley of fires going to the side of him. Yeah, this defender has got himself into a spot of bother here. We've got ourselves modded weapons. Hold up. We've got ourselves modded weapons on this. What is going on here? We're going to have to remove Apathy. There's modded weapons here. Something that no one expected. We're going to have to pop that one out. So we've popped out Apathy and his modded weapons. So we have gone back down to Gatling guns. We'll tell Apathy to come back in. There we go. So Apathy came in with a ship with modded weapons. It did some serious damage, just to show you how powerful modded ship weapons actually here. We've got a face-off between the two defenders. We've got Wizard in the lower one, and we've got the one in the centre. The issue here is none of these Gatling guns are actually going to be firing at the centre. The rotation of these pods and the pods on either side are going to be doing a lot of destruction. Let's check out what's going on in these other areas. We've got another defender engaging here in another rotisserie type movement. This ship is just trying to escape as it's getting shot heavily in the side. The ships where design and thought has been put into them are really going to pay off. Now if we come around the back here, we can see another little ship is making a sneaky little maneuver here. Does it look like he's trying to get a shot on that defender? Or maybe he's backing off? Missiles are possibly going out. There we go. Yeah, missiles are going straight out from that vessel towards the defender. This is one of the defender's weak spots. The missile launchers. If you land a direct shot, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Missiles going back and forth. The defender's spinning rotary sort of motion would just make me really disorientated. There is a one-on-one going on here. The thing with these sorts of fights is if you don't communicate with the team, you can get shot in the back, you can have other people engaging from other angles, and you can quickly find yourself getting in a very, very bad situation. But you can see the rotary sort of nature of these ships really paying off here. Let's jump around and see what's going on. The battle in this section is a little bit larger. He's going head to head now with Defender, but he's getting shot in the side from this ship in this lower section. Now I do believe Husker is somewhere around here. He jumped his ship in this zone. I'm just trying to locate it. Now I believe this particular one has been piloted by High Ground. I could be wrong, since we've not got the beacons on and we're using different ships that I'm unfamiliar with. But them rockets on the front are doing a lot of damage to their defender, even to such a nature where it looks like he's actually pulled off. And he might be getting involved in this fight over here. This is going to be very, very interesting. Two defenders on the original defender design. Now as we pull back over here, we've got more conventional ship engagements going on. From a PvP sort of stance, this is the thing that you tend to see the most. Lots of Gatling guns, lots of missiles going out. Now you have two options. You either turn and fight, or you attempt to flee the combat zone. Now whoever's aboard this must be having some technical issues. He's not getting that frontal volley out into the target area, and his rear thrusters are getting absolutely obliterated. Let's go back over to this section and see what's going on. That Bulldog is being bloody sneaky with them smaller volleys of missiles that it keeps releasing. They're not very accurate, and you can see that they're exploding to the right of that target. But if he snuck in on this fight that's going on the left, he could severely cause some damage. So you can see the two defenders now are ganging up on the singular one. Probably one of the few ways of actually taking it out. So you can see he's being engaged from two directions. He's really got to make a choice here. Is he going to focus on this frontal defender, or is he going to take out the damaged one? Now one of the important things to do here would probably be to focus on the one that's got the most weaponry, take out some of that weaponry. But the issue is, with them decoy pods on either side, it's going to be very, very difficult. As we go on to this side, we can see that this defender has taken quite a bit of a shredding. It's still got a lot of missiles, still got the turrets, the decoy pods are damaged, and you can see he's moving in from this rear direction. But someone is launching some damn sneaky missiles, and I believe that's the responsibility of this little guy here. He's backing up Wizard to the wall, even though it's on a 2-on-1 fight with that defender. This sneaky little ship is getting stuck in with their missiles. He's almost point blank at this point. If he launches a volley here, there's going to be some critical damage. No, the missile volley's gone straight past. He needs to brake hard, get back in on that fleet. Let's have a quick look at what's going on elsewhere. It's very easy to lose your sort of orientation in this fight. So if we go back over into this section, we've got another cluster of ships fighting here. This looks like it's Husker. Husker's ship has arrived pretty much undamaged. He's heading over to here, and they're kind of ganging up on this guy, and he's made the smart move. He's decided to jump out of there before it's the end of his ship. Now that's going to leave a little bit of a problem. These two ships are going to have nothing else to do but to head over to Wizard and gang up on this. It looks like there's been some sort of interlocking of parts. There's a massive hole in this defender design, a bit of cow, nothing like the red and the digital going on there. But this very close proximity has probably allowed the weapons to focus a little bit further, and more parts are breaking off. It looks like Stone has also made the right choice in sending one of them ships off to deal with this nasty little fella who was delivering some serious missile blasts. Now the issue with this ship, it has no jump drive, so there's no chance at all that this guy's going to be getting away. He's going to have to stand and fight or hope that someone else comes and interrupts that defender, because with his singular turrets that he's got on either side, he's not going to even make a dent on the decoy pods that are heavily armoured. I really do like this design. It's got a lot going for it, but you really need to engage it smartly, and that's what worries me about this particular fleet battle. Let's head back over here, see what's going on between these two defenders that are literally now sitting head to head. PvP combat in Space Engineers isn't always a pretty thing, and that's something I want to make very clear. Sometimes you get a situation like this where it's just two ships going head to head, trying to fight each other the best they can. With missile pods, they're just trying to destroy each other. There's no one jumping out of one ship trying to climb aboard on the other. You get a lot of that on PvP servers. Now let's go quickly check out what's going on elsewhere. Where have them other ships gone? Let's head a little bit lower here. We've just got a random part of a ship. If we go further down though, we've got this one-on-one confrontation going on, where it looks like they've both been trying to shoot out that ship that jumped away. There is some issues going on here. That ship was probably just not streamed in correctly for me. There we go. He has jumped away with the Cerberus, and it looks like he's attempting to flee. Now, there's nothing wrong with running away in a Space Engineers battle, and I'd honestly recommend if one of the ships is fleeing, focus on the ships that will help the rest of your crew. So let's quickly check out what's going on here. So we've got them two ships pursuing the fleeing. Looks like it's clicking for Husker. He might return to the main fight. And you can see that Wizard's defender has easily taken out quite a massive chunk of this defender. The small ship that was supporting Wizard though has gone down. He's drifting off in this direction. Oh, it's really not looking good for him. But while he was up in the action, then missiles were doing some serious damage in terms of volleying. So going a little bit back to PvP action and what it's all about. This is exactly it. It's not a pretty fight like I was saying. There's a lot of Gatling gunfire, and when it comes down to it, it's people wanting to win that fight. And they'll do pretty much everything they can to do that. If it involves spinning tactics, like these defenders, as they go to head, you've got 3 2-on-1 in this fight, but still Wizard ship is holding very strong. It just proves that the original design, as both these defenders have been tweaked, this defender tweaked to look a little bit more Batwing-esque. They're still holding their own, but the original design is doing very well. You can see this defender here has been tweaked as well, missing a whole section of its wing. Now I believe that's due to that smaller ship that launched a massive rocket battery. They are quite weak to them smaller weapons. Now the question I've got going here is, what is happening with them smaller ships? Are they still pursuing, or are they returning? And to me, it looks like they're returning to get stuck into that fight. So that's going to bring... it's going to make this situation a little bit scary. Now, if I'm correct, I believe that these two ships are against Wizard's defender as well. The other two little ships have maneuvered around. It looks like he's taking a lot of fire once again. These other two ships need to use their forward missile battery, if they can, to penetrate these glass windows and hit the thruster bay. So I believe this one's Husker's back here. Has he got them forward-facing missiles, or is he coming in from the side? Yeah, he's coming in from the side, firing all volleys, trying to get maximum shots on target. There's a little bit of crossfire going on here. He's shooting his own ship in the back. Let's have a look what's going on. He's now focusing on this next ship. Wizard is MVP of this match by the look of it. This defender's really living up to its name. It's defending itself from all these threats. As we can see here, the front of that heavily armoured ship is being ripped apart, and by a ship that's made of glass and only a few heavy armoured segments. Let's just see what's going on here. Is Husker managing to make any impact from the rear? He's hitting it in one of the crucial points, but you can see how there's tracer fires going out. It's being distracted towards that particular point where the decoys are in. There's really not too much damage. The best thing that these guys can do is try to get some direct shots on this cockpit here where Wizard is sitting. You can see it's not much left but one sheet of glass. Let's go back over and have a look. Looks like this ship is back operational again. The defender's been brought back to life, probably another cockpit being quickly welded up there. Something that you could do in a survival battle. Sometimes you'll think a ship is out of the action, but you can quickly repair it, get it into a state where it's mobile once again, and take it straight back into them. Let's just check there's no text chats going on. Now Husker and one of the other older defender variants is going straight into the action here. The ship that came in for that counter attack just got absolutely shredded. He looks like he's got some power left, but he's going through the ship that tried to escape before. Probably a wise idea. His thrust, his systems look like they're offline. Yeah, he's just drifting. Let's get back to the main fight, the main show, the main meal. Wizard, once again, wow, he's impressive. His time and space engineers definitely shows, but it's more of an engineering sort of marvel, this particular design. When there is no rules applied to it, like in a lot of servers, ramming can cause you critical damage. It looks like he's going with a feisty right hook towards his cockpit, but Wizard's managed to avoid that. Just some careful piloting there. Husker, on the other hand, he looks like he's got bigger fish to fry. He's attempting to jump out and finish off this little ship. They know how dangerous that other ship can be, so by damaging or destroying this very vulnerable craft out here, it's not going to offer too much of an issue. This defender taken out most likely due to its cockpit. Yep, cockpit's been removed. Let's go back over, and it is taking some time. We might clip a little bit ahead and just see what happens here. Looks like we've got Mr. Green coming around the back of the defender here. I hope he's just watching. I hope he's not trying to rip anything apart, because that was a rule that we set for this particular parameter. But in a PvP battle, you'll get that as well. You'll get them annoying players who come in to the back of your ship. That is smoking like hell. There we go. That was a successful missile volley from Wizard's defender. It has all come down to this. The other two ships have buggered off. They're scared. And with Wizard fighting this hard, it looks like the final move of this ship is to jump out and fight another day. So that leaves us in a position where we have a look at the damage left to Wizard's ship. Yes, there's a lot of it gone down. We've not got too much left. And if we pop around here, you can see in a realistic PvP scenario now, a lot of people will be looking to try to save these ships, salvage them, get them back to base at any cost. So you'd see the second level of things happening, where the salvage crews would come in. You can see we've got more people jumping out, more people leaving the fight. And that is what a typical fight is like in Space Engineers. It gets very intense, and then the recommendations is you either fight to the death, or you save your ship and jump out there, try to rebuild it, come back with it improved and better. Now Wizard still wants a fight. He has taken on the rest of that fleet, and he's angry. They've destroyed the rest of his crew members. He has taken some severe damage. He really doesn't have too much left in the way of standing between him and his cockpit. But what are these guys going to do? Are they going to use the last few minutes of this battle to try to focus maximum fire on Wizard, or not? It looks like, if you ask me, these two ships are turning about face. They have about 3 minutes. So they have 3 minutes to make the choice if they're going to jump out, or they're going to try to take the battle to Wizard. Are they going to do it? And in a ship like this, where there's really not much left of it, it'd probably be either advisable to jump this guy out or take it in for a critical ram. We've got the last of Stone's fleet now forming up to go head to head with Wizard. Now ideally they need a missile volley right into the center, into that glass. It will take him out. It'll be as simple as that. Let's just see if these missile volleys are coming out of Husker. Nothing in terms of missiles with Husker. We don't have anything in terms of missile centralized pods. Do we have any missiles left on this particular ship? And to me it looks like none there. So Wizard's going to really have a mighty fight, and it looks like Husker's going to be going for it. He's going to be getting him twisting, getting his rear exposed to the other two ships. So this final fight might be really damn exciting, especially when the shots are raining in from all around him. Firing at something like this or getting into a position behind him like that, the decoy pods will still work, but some of your rounds will still spin into the side of the ship. The long, the tedious, the hard battles, and when you don't have them directed, oh, it looks like he's gonna stop him from spinning. His tactic to stop the defender from spinning could be critical here. It could really make an impact on the actual fight. But it looks like he's been bounced off and he's still manoeuvring. The other defender, that's absolutely crippled there. He's trying to make some moves, but he knows what to do here. He knows to focus on Husker, but Husker's keeping himself moving, and by keeping himself moving, he's keeping himself out of the majority of the fight. You see the Gatling gun fire going off to either side. The central area is really not taking any damage. That glass in the centre is still holding strong on that defender, as missile after missile battery go out from it. These other two ships, if they can get any control, if they want to attempt to ram, they need to get right in the centre there. Husker's rear area is exposed, but his own decoy pods now, as you can see, are doing a good job to avoid some of that tracer fire. So both of these ships, you can just see how decoy pods are really that effective. They both draw out the length of a battle, but at the same time, we've got the tiny little ship over here. This ship actually was like a mini MVP with them missile pods. I mean, I'd be surprised if whoever the pilot of this couldn't really get it operational and try to do a few last strikes with them missile pods if they're still working. But coming back over here, you see Husker is now going right for that central point. But once again, Wizard is outmaneuvering him, trying to get in them better positions. Husker's still not taking a lot of damage because his own decoy pods, you can see now they're starting to smoke and get destroyed. They've absorbed the original bit of the fight. The smaller red and black ship is putting some fire, putting a little bit of work in from the side. It's just a matter of time now, and the decisions of both teams are going to probably decide what's going on here. I hope the communication in the chat is going through the roof, trying to position themselves around the defender, but you can just see how effective the decoy pods are. It's ridiculous. Most of that tracer fire is just missing completely. Okay, we've got another ram to attempt to stop or even take off. Yes, they've managed to take off one of the decoy pods. Beautiful. They've taken off one of the decoy pods. That is going to severely damage the design of him, but at the risk, he has put himself in that critical fire line and he is getting ripped apart. Yes, they did take off the decoy, but still, the decoy's still doing some work elsewhere. It's not done too much damage to him though. He might manage to flee it, buying Husker some critical time to take out that other arm. You can see how when he ran the other arm before, he made that sort of ample dint, and with one arm out, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what's going on here. It looks like he's powering up, he's trying to slow himself down to get that final ram on that cockpit. Let's have a look. You can see them Gatling guns are now starting to focus their fire in the centre, and it's getting closer and closer to Wizard. His little bits of rotation are hitting him hard. He's trying to save himself. Husker's going in on that other pylon. They are using teamwork ramming to focus their fire. It's probably the only way they're going to take Wizard out. Being this close to him like this is pretty much hugging him so that then decoy blocks. One more shot on the arm of that decoy and it comes off. Wizard's like a struggling animal now. He's holding on for dear life. He put up a good fight against the whole fleet. But as Husker's turrets get in the centre here, that one piece of glass is all that's standing between him and total destruction. But still, he's outmanoeuvred him. He's manoeuvred himself out of the situation, and he's putting down considerable focus fire on Husker's ship now. Only if that second decoy pod could come off, someone could land that critical shot. You can see that it's almost severed. Once that's severed, it's going to start working some serious damage into it. In all honesty, this is absolutely amazing me how this ship is holding together like this. It's still managing to maneuver, and it's got enough thrusters and power to keep the fight going against multiple ships. Let's have a look here. So here was the little red ship that did the critical damage. He's struggling for control. He's fighting against all the systems. He just wants to get back into that fight. Now Wizards make a little mistake here. Stone's ship was left over here because Stone had to get off to work. So by positioning himself over here, he's taking a little bit more of that Gatling gun fire. But with that arm being held on by a small tether, that spiraling motion is all that's keeping him alive. I'm just expecting another cheeky little move from that red ship here to try to cripple him further. Husker's really fighting him hard though. He's not took too much damage himself. He's got a few weapon systems offline. His decoys are still holding strong. So as we come over to the other side here, you can see that the ship is starting to lose some of its systems. A piece of glass though in front of his cockpit is still holding itself. It looks like we've got someone attempting to board. I really hope not. I really hope this doesn't end with someone just grinding that cockpit away, because that would be mighty bad.
So the fire's still going out. Husker's pulling back once again. His tactic of dipping into the fight and then manoeuvring away. Oh, and red ship's back. Red and black ship is back. He has not given up on this fight just yet. Uh-oh. But as Wizard's seen it, the damaging wreck of the other defender is going in, but it has missed him. He's managed to manoeuvre himself by inches away from it. Absolute beautiful piloting going on there. At this stage in the battle, when these PvP fights sort of happen, you've got to expect the ramming to go down. Some people think it's dishonourable, some people think it's all you can do when you've got that last bit of that ship left. There's some steaming parts going past. And I think we'll wrap it up here, even though I really don't want to, and there's only one piece of glass holding it together.